I'll never forget last year playing him and him literally calling out like 40% of our plays as we broke the huddle and just being like, how in the world is that possible?
In a league filled with freak athletes, 40-yard dash records, and viral highlights, Luke Kuechly was something completely different. He didn't just play linebacker, he was arguably the smartest player to ever step on a field. From a quiet high school in Cincinnati to the dominating NFL defenses, this is the story of how one man turned film study into a superpower and became one of the smartest players the game has ever seen. Born in Cincinnati, Ohio, Luke didn't grow up with five-star hype or jaw-dropping measurables. He attended St. Xavier High School, a powerhouse known for tough academics and tougher football. But what made this program different wasn't the size of their linemen. It was the mind of their coach, Steve Specht. Specht believed football wasn't just about strength. It was about study. Even at the high school level, he had players grinding film, breaking down formations, and preparing mentally like they were already in college. For most kids, it was overkill. For Luke, it was heaven. He wasn't just a hard worker. He understood the game on a level that baffled even his own coaches. He knew what every position was supposed to do. He could literally predict the play before it started. Coaches and teammates were quoted as saying, what he lacked in athleticism, he made up for in intellect. As a junior, Luke led St. Xavier to a 15-0 record and a state championship, anchoring a defense that was as smart as it was physical. But despite all of that, recruiters weren't sold. He was only 200 pounds in high school, too light for the college level, according to scouts. He was a 3-star recruit, ranked the 44th outside linebacker in the class of 2009. Not exactly a blue-chip prospect. But Luke didn't care about stars or rankings. He cared about playing the game the right way and continuing to learn it from the inside out. When it came time to pick a college, he chose Boston College, a school known for its academics more than its football program. The transition wasn't easy. Before he became a Boston College legend, Luke was battling older, stronger players who knew how to play college ball. But instead of backing down, he stayed in the film room later than everyone else and showed up before everyone else for practice. Veteran safety Wes Davis took him under his wing, teaching him how to truly study opponents, how to read stances, decode splits, recognize formation tendencies. Luke became obsessed. He was practically living in the film room, and by the end of his freshman season, he was the starting outside linebacker. Soon after, he moved to middle linebacker, a position that requires total control of the defense, and he thrived. Kuechly would go on to rack up 532 career tackles, including 191 in a single season, still a school record. He was named ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year and quickly became one of the best linebackers in college football. He didn't just make tackles, he arrived before the ball did. By 2012, NFL scouts had no choice but to take notice. Kuechly wasn't just another productive college linebacker, he was a machine. Analysts called him one of the most instinctual and technically sound linebackers in years. But still, there were questions. Could he handle the NFL's physicality? Was he athletic enough to survive in a league dominated by speed? But the Carolina Panthers saw their future, and they took him 9th overall in the 2012 NFL Draft, placing him under the guidance of Ron Rivera, a former linebacker for the legendary '85 Bears. If anyone could shape Luke's NFL future, it was Rivera. Kuechly began his rookie year at outside linebacker. The Panthers already had a veteran, John Beeson, in the middle, but when Beeson went down with an injury, Luke stepped in, and everything changed. At just 21 years old, Kuechly took control of the defense and he led the entire NFL with 164 tackles, added 2 interceptions, and transformed the Panthers' 27th ranked defense into one that was closer to the middle of the league in points allowed.
He's constantly watching film. He knows what the offense is about to do pre-snap before they do it.
Outside run!
He was named NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he was just getting started. In only his second season, Kuechly did the unthinkable, helping the Panthers go 12-4 and win the NFC South. Luke had 156 tackles and 4 interceptions on his way to winning NFL Defensive Player of the Year. What made him unstoppable wasn't size or speed. It was his brain and his preparation. He was watching 2 to 3 hours of film every night, on top of 12-hour days full of practice, interviews, and team meetings. His teammates said he studied like a quarterback, saying things like he wasn't the fastest, but he always knew what was coming. That was his superpower. Trick plays didn't work on Luke. He'd blow them up in practice before the scout team could even finish setting up. One of his career-defining games came on Thanksgiving Day In 2015, it was the Cowboys versus Panthers. National TV, millions watching. Kuechly calls a blitz. Tony Romo audibles. Luke instantly adjusts the defense, counter audible. He reads Romo's eyes. Pick 6. Next drive, same thing, another interception. "I'm just going to jump the dig and hope they run a dig," he later said. 2 drives, 2 picks, 1 legendary game. That 2015 season was magical. The Panthers went 15-1. Cam Newton won MVP, and Kuechly. Pick 6 versus Seahawks in the playoffs. Pick 6 versus Cardinals in the NFC Championship. And he led the team in tackles in Super Bowl 50. Even in a loss to the Broncos, Luke's performance was undeniable. He was at the peak of his career, and NFL offenses couldn't stop him. But the game takes as much as it gives. In 2015, Luke suffered his first concussion and a shoulder injury. Then, in 2016, after a hit by Tim Hightower, he sat on the field for several minutes, physically okay, but clearly shaken. He was later diagnosed with a grade 3 concussion, the most severe. He missed 6 games. The footage of him crying on the field broke hearts. I remember sitting on the field trying to figure out what was going on with me. By 2017, Luke had suffered 3 concussions and multiple shoulder issues. Still, he played at an all-pro level, but the toll was mounting. In January 2020, at just 28 years old, Luke Kuechly did something that shocked the football world. He walked away.
It's never the right time to step away, but now is the right time for me, and it's a tough decision. I've thought about it a lot, and
he couldn't accept giving anything less than 100%, and he wanted to protect the one thing that had always set him apart, his mind.
You know, there's only one way to play this game since I was a little kid is to play fast and play physical and play strong, and at this point I don't know if I'm able to do that anymore, and that's the part that is the most difficult is.
After retiring, Luke briefly worked as a scout for the Panthers. Then, he started coaching middle school football in Charlotte, alongside some of his former teammates. He also became a radio color commentator, where he diagnosed plays in real time, astonishing fans with his insight. In 2025, he was named a Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist, first year eligible. He didn't make it in, but his induction feels inevitable. Just take a look at the resume. Luke was a 7-time Pro Bowler, 5-time first-team All-Pro, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and led the NFL in tackles multiple times. But more than stats and awards, Luke Kuechly changed the perception of what makes a great defender. His coaches, teammates, and opponents all agree. No one studied harder. No one had better instincts. No one processed the game faster. Luke Kuechly wasn't just a linebacker. He was a football computer in pads, and he may just be the smartest defensive player in NFL history. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Luke Kuechly's legendary career, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment. Is Luke Kuechly a Hall of Famer in your book? Should he be a first ballot guy? And remember, sometimes the sharpest weapon on the field isn't a helmet, it's the brain behind it.